Welcome to Father and Son Flight Simulation. Today I am in DCS doing a training mission on the TF-51D. The TF-51D is the trainer for the P-51, and it has pretty much everything the P-51 has on it except for the armaments. Today our mission is to basically take off and do a few aerial maneuvers, make sure we don't blow up the engine while doing it, and perhaps a few touch and goes. I warn you that I'm horrible at landing a tail dragging airplane, but you know, I've been practicing, and maybe I'll get this right. It's very difficult to start this thing, so bear with me. I'm gonna go to cockpit view now. Okay, so we're in the cockpit, and they say when you start one of these up, you basically go from left all the way to the right, and then get the plane set up for start, and then once you're there, you can adjust it. Now, back here, all the way back here, are the flaps. You can see parked; they're all the way down. I'm going to go ahead and pull them all the way up. Now you notice that they're not going up yet because we need to actually have the engine started in order to do that. The rudder trim needs to be a little bit to the right, and that's to make up for the torque. Throttle we want to open up about there. And notice we have a prop control here, which is kind of hard to control with the Oculus controllers, but that's pretty much all the way up, all the way in. This is the mixture control. You have basically cutoff, full, and about 50%. And for some reason, with the prop control and with the mixture control, I can't assign those to my throttle quadrant on the SciTech. Yes, I will be using the SciTech, even though it is a joystick-controlled airplane. It's okay. So continuing on, I've got all those sets. I've got basically for takeoff, elevator trim for takeoff. Down here we now have our, this is where our starter control is. I'm just going to go ahead and get that set up. So we're going to go ahead, and all we have to do is ready the starter switch. This is the actual starter switch. The oil dilute would be to dilute the oil with a little bit of gasoline if by any chance you're operating in an extreme cold environment. So it loosens up the oil a little bit, gets it flowing. The magneto switches are over here, so we'll switch those to both. Okay. Continuing on, these are not relevant. Over here is your oxygen control, which we're not going to need. And over here is our battery, electrical switches, and lights. So I'm just going to flip on the battery and the generator, and you can see the light went on. Down here is the fuel cutoff. We're going to make sure that's flowing. And I believe over here is our communications panel, which we don't need in this flight. And down there is our fuel gauge for each engine. So we got some good fuel. We're fueled up and ready to go. One thing about the P-51 is you got to be very, very careful. It is a very high-powered engine and easy to blow up the engine if you keep the power on too long. So these green arcs here, here, and here. This is the temperature, this is the RPM, and this is the manifold pressure. You've got to watch those like a hawk to make sure you don't blow up the engine. Alright, now I'm going to set the brake. To set the brake, you pull it up, push in the brakes on the rudders, let go. Wait, like this. There you go. See how it stays there? Now the brakes are set. Alright, now to start, I'm going to prime the engine. And I got to be ready to throw the mixture up, so I'm going to prime it, and hopefully I can get this started. It's very, very difficult to get this started. Come on. Come on. Yeah. So I don't know how long I'm going to be fooling around with this, but Let's go ahead and put half mixture, prime it some more. I remember having a very, very difficult time getting this started when I was first trying it. Yeah, almost. There we go. All right, there we go. I like that. All right, runway's over there. All right. Let's close the canopy. All right, finally. All right, let's get our collision lights on. And let's see, what's that one down there? Pitot, I don't think we need that. Red recognition, green. All right. So I think we're about ready to go. We're ready to start ready to taxi. Okay. The full mixture there. All right, there we go. All right, break off. Now, when you taxi, you want to pull back on the stick if you're doing shallow turns, but then let go of the stick and brake with your rudders to do sharp turns. You got to be kind of careful because it's really easy to flip this thing around. And you can't see straight ahead because brake, there we go. All right, ready to go? Okay, now I'm gonna pull a little bit of back stick to keep that wheel, that tail wheel on the ground so I keep it centered. And watch my speed because about 100, I'm gonna try to let the plane sort of, you know, level out and climb out. And then as soon as we're airborne, I'm gonna set the prop because I don't want to blow the engine. We've got to be very careful not to blow the engine. All right, flaps are up. Elevators are good. All right, let's go. Gear up. Here we go. Start building up some speed. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is a sharp turn, and we're going to see what happens when I pull several G's. So. Ooh. Wow. It's really touchy, this thing, huh? Drop my controller. Let's see if I can get back up to altitude here. Okay, I wonder how that happened. So I did not intend to go into a stall like that. But that's exactly what happened. Let's do stall practice. All right. Alright, let's do a forward loop. Well, that was strange. There we go. That's a loop. This thing is fast. Nice. Let's get up some speed. Whoa. Okay, I stalled. Alright, I'm going to try to do some touch and goes now. So in military, you're supposed to overfly the runway first and do an orbit. So we'll take it down to 1,000 feet or so. And then start setting up the plane for a landing. Okay. 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 Alright, we'll bring the gear down. First notch of flaps. Okay. Alright, second notch of flaps. Third notch of flaps. We'll put the fourth on final. And we're targeting for 90 knots for touchdown. Full flaps. Alright, not a bad landing, not a bad landing. Flaps up. Let's get the rudder trim in for takeoff again. Flaps are up. Alright, taking off. Probably a little too much rudder there, huh? That was hard pumping. First degree of flaps. Okay, start flying her downhill. Full flaps. Well, a little bounce there. Oh, hard landing. Hard landing. Might have to check the gear for damage with that one. Whoa. Gotta be careful when you're braking these things. You don't want to go over the top. Alright. Alright, that was a really hard landing. Alright, let's see if I can do better than that. Let's look to the other gauge. Let's see. Alright, tanks. Alright, we're going to the right now. I think that's causing a little bit of my problem with the control. Flaps up. And we'll do one more circuit. Okay. Oh, put the gear up finally. Alright, gear down. First notch of flaps. See if I can make this one good. That last one was really, really rough. Almost registered as a crash. Alright, full flaps. Gears down. Looking for not 90 knots, a touchdown. Well, I need to work on my landings, but tail draggers are really, really tough. Let's bring it back in. I think this is where we were. I'm not entirely sure, actually, but close enough. Alright, well, shutdown's very similar to other aircraft. Let me open, let's see, we're gonna go kind of the opposite, except I'm not gonna turn off the battery or the generator yet. I'm gonna wait on that. Come on, we're still getting used to it. There it goes. Okay, and then here we're here. Hello. There we go. Okay, so that's the generator. Okay, now we're gonna. We don't need the starter. We don't need the engine boost or the fuel boost. This is okay. Let's get the parking brake on. There we go, parking brake is on. And let's pull, let's get this all the way to the front and pull the cutoff. Alright, fuel cutoff. Alright, that was fun. Let's get the canopy back open. This is really tricky. Get the beacon. Alright, canopy is open and battery is off. So, well, I guess the training flight was a success if you think, okay, well, our job here was not to crash. So, I didn't crash, I didn't blow up the engine. We were able to take off and land several times. Some were a bit questionable there. Also was able to do a few maneuvers, although I need to work on that. The plane does get put into a stall quite easily, and I did put it into a stall a couple of times when I was trying to do some of those maneuvers. I did do one really good loop, which was acceptable, and I almost did an implement or a reverse implement. I did one barrel roll that was acceptable, and so I think overall it's a good training flight. It's a good training flight. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time on Father-Son Flight Simulator. Have a good day.